been a pretty solid season for both teams in this matchup here. Good evening, everybody. My name is Ito, and I'm happy to bring you another match of ESEA Main. Tonight we have Iniquity versus Fusion Uprise, seed number 26 Iniquity, and seed number 28 Fusion Uprise. And interesting to note that, although these teams are really hotly contested, they have a very similar record as well. Iniquity have had the chance to play one more match in Fusion Uprise. They're 9-4 in the season, while Fusion Uprise are 8-4, and so they're towards the top of the leaderboards. However, Iniquity, for the most part, they are on kind of an upwards trajectory. They've had a rough couple past form in these last few games, but all the games that they have lost have been to teams who have a equal or better scoreline in ESEA main than them. I'm looking at teams like Curse Ascension, and that was a fun little knife round right there. But I'm looking at teams like Curse Ascension in particular, Ryder Esports, who are currently undefeated in the season. Those are both teams that Iniquity have lost to. So, heading into this match, I can't help but just kind of think of them as maybe a little bit of the overdogs in this sort of scenario, at least on paper. But Fusion Uprise, they've surprised me before. They're also kind of on an upward trend in this season. Either way, what I'm really trying to get at here is that I feel like this could be a good match. It all starts on the pistol, and we're seeing quite a bit of utility being bought for the CT side of Fusion Uprise. Meanwhile, Iniquity want to take things inner for the time being and set up for some A site utility usage, and actually out towards Pop Dog they go. Quick execute contact play out towards A, where there's going to be 4 CTs waiting. However, Steedle just not letting off of that W key. It's just pushing straight into the CTs, finding plenty of kills apiece for him and his teammates. And although Maz will be stuck to do it versus 3, he'll only find 1 before he eventually falls very quickly, making a very clean first for Iniquity, all things considered. I say quick full knowing that they did drop quite a couple of players there. They dropped 3, but on a pistol, it's not too bad, especially considering the fact that they were able to get that bomb down. Plenty of money to buy in, no problem there. Fusion Uprise will now have to play with some upgraded pistols, as well as a single Nova in Yoko's hand, who's playing towards inner, and unfortunately, there's no utility on the CT side, so it becomes really tough to take some of these duels versus Iniquity unless the CTs want to go for some really risky or aggressive pushes into places, which may or may not actually be safe to tread. But as the bomb gets planted, the hopes and dreams of Fusion Uprise are quickly diminishing as 2 kills go the way, 3 kills go the way of Iniquity now, with only a peep heard from Maz, as he's able to get a single one with a 5-7. But he's on borrowed time. He won't even be able to find a second before Iniquity close things out and make it a nice quick 2-0. Starting your T side off right. Definitely one of the harder sides sometimes to really get a solid start going, or at least get a solid score line together. But they're already getting off to something pretty decent, and this could also be pretty decent. Check this out. Nade set coming through from the T side could be good onto maybe Dalton of all people, but it's Airplanes who takes the brunt of the damage. However, it's all damage and no kills. Sure, Maz gets 1, but it's not without bloodshed, significant bloodshed on the side of Iniquity, or on the side of Fusion Uprise, excuse me. 2 on 4, just like that, and I think it's just going to be down to only Yoko with a Nova. And unfortunately, despite all these players eating so much shrapnel, they're still going to be able to have their dessert and chomp down on every single one of the remaining counter-terrorists. Yoko will just try to get something together, waiting for someone to walk into his crosshairs with his Nova. No armor as well. I don't exactly feel lucky for him, especially since Iniquity are exiting elsewhere, checking their backs to be cautious of any lurking counter-terrorists. But if he can just try to get a couple of the terrorists to stay close to the bomb, it could net him a couple of kills or 2, whether it's to the bomb detonation to itself or with the Nova, which Yoko, he goes down in flames, taking 2 to the grave. Not too shabby, all things considered. The buy-up was pretty minimal from Fusion Uprise. They're going to be able to fully invest into this one, and overall, they're going to be able to piece together a pretty solid buy. It's the same story for Iniquity, though. So they're going to have some tough opposition to deal with. Jinja going inner. Oh, speaking of inner, action hits the outer sight, almost entirely different direction, but still a great start for Fusion Uprise. This is the kind of kill that they need to get themselves back onto the board. Now trying to hold down the site from the T's who are trying to entry in. And we'll find a second. Uncontested still. Steedle searches with his AWP to find another, but no give. Playing very securely onto the site. 3 counter-terrorist members now. Fusion Uprise will just not budge, because they know if they do, they could be in for a nasty surprise, such as Steedle's AWP, but they're not ready for the sheer amount of players who are just overwhelming every single one of Iniquity's members. And Siphon, with a triple kill to cap things off, will get the first on the board for Fusion Uprise. Much cleaner round than pretty much any of the ones that we've seen so far from the terrorist side. I mean, round 2 was a bloodbath for the T's, but I mean, from there on out, Fusion Uprise, even on the rounds that they have lost, they've managed to take a couple of guns out of the hands, and it's starting to have a little bit of payback now, considering they're going to have to invest every last dollar into this one here. It's not going to be the prettiest buy either. Maz finds one, assassinates a second. Now the rotates are through from Fusion Uprise. There's still a player lurking out towards team main. That's Dalton. You have to keep your eye on him because he could be the real crown jewel in this round for Iniquity. However, it's not very shiny, and he won't be able to shine just yet. Now striking him from the back end. Dalton left in a 1-on-4. Finds a first, no problem. Sprays through onto Yoko too. However, he can only do so much when the bomb isn't in his views, so his flank ends up going greatly unappreciated by the CT forces, as he will be able to get another one through relatively quickly. Not too shabby, though, from Iniquity. I mean, made it into a 1-on-2 at the end of the day, meaning that Fusion Uprise do have to rebuy some of those guns, and if you can really start damaging that counter-terrorist economy, it can start to bite you in the back. Same story with how it worked out from Iniquity. A little bit of a faster approach to this one here, getting glimpses of what I think we saw in that pistol round with a little bit more pop dog action. This time Dalton with a Galil will try to make the heroics happen, but he can't quite do it. Steedle elsewhere tries to make magic happen with a Deagle over at Ivy and falls like the rest, and it's looking an awful lot like an even game now, unless something crazy with an Eagle can happen, and something crazy did indeed happen. I have no idea how those shots didn't connect, but these ones are. 2 kills away of Iniquity, and maybe a third on the cards as well if Siphon dare peeks his head for even a moment. But it'll just be yet another kill to toss into the Siphon meat grinder as he picks up another triple. In only 6 rounds, 2 triple kills is a pretty good look. Continuing on the rampage, it's all evened up, but the T's will be able to buy up once again. That could mean a lot. Quick play over towards Olaf almost immediately. MDS, although he finds one, the positioning really is strong for Iniquity right now. They could easily trade this out, but they need to start getting the kills quickly because MDS has been able to reign supreme and find 2, possibly even a third if he's given the chance. But, oh, airplanes, he snuck into a very sneaky position, tries to transfer the spray over and does the job just fine. Down from a 1-on-4 into a 1-on-3. It's not exactly going to be possible, no matter how he tries to slice it. But he did the best he could with the dull knife he was given. Another one for Fusion Uprise as they take the lead for the first time in this game. Although Iniquity had a pretty hot start, it looks like kind of what you would expect from a terrorist side on train for the most part. It's sometimes tough to put together some of those rounds. They'll try to make do with what they can, Iniquity. And that being said, it's going to be Scouts and Deagles. Scout and Deagle. And holy hell, that nade from Rock just absolutely rocked Iniquity right now as They're all bleeding internally, but they still have to face the fight, still have to face off against Rock, who could just completely shut down this offensive push from the T side. There's 4 members stacked up with only 1 the other way. Airplanes with the scout, who's actually been able to find another tag, this time onto Yoko. Siphon and Yoko both weak, but Rock, who's I think really the big X factor in this round for Fusion Uprise. Because although Yoko has fallen, I forgot his name for a second, Airplanes is still lurking about with a scout and could actually cause more and more damage. Rock didn't spot him over towards Olaf. Now Iniquity know exactly what's going on. Oh, good shot from Airplanes. Nice little tag onto Rock. Now knows that a contact play is surely in order from the T side, but they're just going to walk straight into the line of fire or through the fire itself as Rock lets him pass but gets a kill nonetheless. A second cursory peek through leads to the end of his life. Now Maz will have to take on the challenge, have to take on the 3 terrorists remaining. Make it down into 1. All the players coming in for a kill of their own. Not quite the teammates that you're hoping for, because again, Siphon, another triple. He's found 3 triple kills in this game so far, and sure, that last one was on an eco, but it still looks pretty gorgeous. 5-3. And, well, although the money is still going to be pretty good for Iniquity, they have that full loss bonus coming through. I mean, the T's are going to be able to buy up for rounds to come if they can keep it as relatively competitive as they have. Which, I mean, if they have rifles in their hands, shouldn't be too hard of a task, considering what they're getting done on just Scouts and Deagles. Playing it slow definitely kind of seemed in their best interest. Kind of punishing some of the patience of players like Yoko, Yoko, an incredible player in their own right, don't get me wrong, but seemed to take a duel they couldn't quite win versus Airplanes and was on the receiving end of it. Quick glance at the ADR and utility damage will show that Rock and that incredible boulder of a grenade that he tossed through Ivy puts him up to nearly 300 utility damage already. We're only 8 rounds into this game. Small technical pause. Guessing it's not tactical, because usually it would be over by now, but Iniquity, I guess it's time for them to start talking about what they can do, because they've lost 5 rounds in a row. They got the initial 3 just kind of based off of, I mean, that pistol was, I feel, their only really convincing victory over Fusion Uprise so far. The other 2 that they got were just because the CTs had relatively low money. They had to force up Deagles, and they were able to clean that up rather quick. But from here, the jig is up. It's now time for Iniquity to start getting a couple more T rounds together in this half. And up against double snipers of Fusion Uprise, it's not going to be an easy feat. MDS in particular has been relatively lethal on it. Think about how they shut down that first gun round from Iniquity almost entirely. 2 kills right out of the back of nowhere. Unpauses through. Iniquity will be choosing to buy up into this one here. Slate wiped clean. They can now mold this round however they like. Lots of opportunities for them to shine, but they need to get something going. It looks like a quick T main push will be on the cards, and a quick swift death from Airplanes as well, as he has been grounded. No more flights for him, and it's the same story for Arctos as well. Again, MDS with a second double effectively shuts out this push. Sure, Jinja is able to get 1 consolation frag, but I mean, at what cost? You're just shedding so much blood, and it could have been even scarier than it was, but Fusion Uprise somehow managed to get out relatively unscathed, losing 2 guns in the midst of things, and they can easily rebuy back into this one. The money is starting to look relatively healthy for the counter-terrorist forces at the moment. Not exactly a statement I can echo for the opposition. Still, a rebuy nonetheless. Lots of flashes in play. Iniquity, they want to go for a full buy into this one here. Don't want to leave any corners unchecked, but they check the wrong area. MDS, a bit of a switch up than what he was doing over by T-Con. Has now decided to completely push over upper B and take down one player immediately. That's Airplanes again being grounded. Unfortunate start. Airplanes can't quite get anything going here, and not much luck for Jinja either. Dies like the rest, and I mean, they're just all getting picked away. Steedle, however, is still in this round and still finding kills. Sure, he's been silenced, but that little bit of a lifeline that he found means that Iniquity can use some of this little map control that they have and try to make this round come together, gather their things, and maybe leave in a convincing fashion. Dalton with a Galil and 26 HP is a little bit of a liability, I suppose, but Arctos with the Kree could definitely step up to the plate. Checking every single corner. MDS is wise to exactly where Arctos could be, and although he's checking the angle, doesn't seem to be quite primed on the trigger. Won't be able to deal with him, but surely his teammates will. It's Yoko and Maz to take on the duo versus Arctos. Speaking of which, the terrorist in question, he's found one, but it's still a 1-on-2 after the fact. You can smoke down, maybe get bombed for free, but from there, it gets significantly tougher to try to make a clutch happen, especially when the distance is closed like this. Maz, a bit too big for his britches, actually tries to close the distance a bit too quickly, but it was all planned, as Yoko will gladly take that opportunity to complete a quadra kill and put the CT side now up on 7. They're looking pretty good so far, Fusion Uprise. Continuing it 7 in a row. Because they got the bomb down, Arctos and Co. will be able to rebuy into this. The money still getting somewhat damaged by Fusion Uprise. That did come down to a 1 versus 1 at the end of the day, meaning and if Iniquity can win a round or two, they can effectively break the economy relatively well. However, that's not the start they want. A quick push from Dalton leads to a even quicker death, and I think Jinja is trying to test his luck as well. Wants to dip his feet in the water, but it might just burn him alive. Arctos elsewhere. Takes a healthy amount of tag damage, down to about half. Already not exactly the real building blocks for success. Oh, Siphon. He could be in for a nasty surprise, but he deals with it just fine. But he's not ready for the third. Who is, really? It's a nice little triple. Again, another triple from Siphon. This man is just collecting triple kills like it's his hobby. I have to check the stats at halftime and see how many multi-kills he's at, because this is kind of getting absurd at this point. He's just sometimes single-handedly being able to take care of everything that Iniquity are even thinking about trying. And they've done a very good job at silencing the offense, as they've effectively zoned them out of this one too. Scout and Deagle play yet again. Last time we saw this come out for them, it was relatively promising. However, Airplane won't be allowed to roam the same way that he was before. I thought he would actually be dead by now, but surprisingly, he's still in this one. Dalton, his teammate, has managed to sneak out over towards Olaf, meaning the teams have a little bit of wiggle room to make this round happen. The smokes will ward the terrorists off for the meantime, and there we are, just like that. Scout out of the picture. Airplane's no chance. Jinja has revealed his position over at E-Box. Surely his time is on the clock right now, and wait a second, Dalton will actually be able to deliver with another. If Jinja can secure a kill, there's actually a real shot for Iniquity to make this one work. They've now all gathered up over towards the A site. Steedle in from the flank is able to find another, but Yoko returns the favor, gets one, a second, looking to make it 3 now. Wants to do his best Siphon impression, but Siphon himself will deny the opportunity for a triple kill for Yoko, stealing one away for himself. At the end of the day, it's another secure round for Fusion Uprise as they've now chained together 9 in a row, looking to make it double digits. Already pretty secure. We want just to close this out with a little bit of fervor. Arctos over at T-Con. Bit of a risk. He's just trying to totally pull off a fake right now. It's almost so obvious. Yeah, you see how the push is already happening. Inner, 2 players committed to the fight. Dalton lagging a little bit behind at this B offense, and if you lag behind, you're going to allow MDS to leg you, or even worse, as he's found a double in the round, plus so much damage onto the now fallen Jinja. Means that MDS is this reigning supreme yet again, as he looks to make it a triple. Not quite on the mark. His teammate will have his back. And it's all over now for Iniquity in round number 13. A full investment, but absolutely minimal results. The only things that they really found in this one is about half damage on MDS and Maz respectively, but it's not the kill and it's not the round that they need, meaning it doesn't exactly mean much of anything. Sure, you can tag them all up as much as you want, but they're still winning this. Fusion Uprise now have made their way to double digits as Arctos just kind of biding his time. Oh, he sees a shadow. Could he pre-fire Siphon here? He does, but Siphon, wise to it, will quickly and very gratefully take that upgrade to the nice SG553. And you can tell a counter-terrorist side is going well when you have 3 Kriegs in your hands. And that's exactly what it's been for Fusion Uprise so far. A very clean half. Sure, there was an initial hiccup right at the beginning of it where they dropped 3 in a row, but that was a pistol and follow-ups. From there on out, they've been flawless. Despite all the effort and all the gun rounds, it seems that Fusion Uprise are able to deal with every single one of their challenges so far, but Steedle is going to go ahead and change my direction entirely and change my feelings almost entirely as well. MDS will change them right back though, and okay, there we are. I was worried for a second. Iniquity though seemed to have been grounded to reality. Steedle will have to pull off a 1 versus 3, but timing isn't in his favor, nor is the duel. Benji says, so easy for Maz farming these bots, and I mean, I can't help but agree. They really are reigning supreme, just reigning terror upon the 9 and 4 Iniquity right now. I was expecting a better showing from Iniquity so far, but only being able to find the pistol and 2 follow-up rounds after the fact, nothing else to show. They are 0 for whatever on gun rounds. I mean, they haven't been able to get almost anything together, and it's really starting to show in the scoreline. 11-3, could be 12-3 if things keep up, which, I mean, considering Steedle is already down to half with a Krieg and Galils are in play, I'm not exactly feeling very lucky if I'm on the side of Iniquity. Siphon has found his first, looking to make it another triple to add to the record, but Rock will steal one away, taking down Dalton. Oh, Siphon though, he's sneaking around the smoke, and this could easily be the formula for another kill, and the triple again! Siphon, he's had so many triple kills in this game, and he's not going to be able to get the quad. It'll be Maz burning Arctos alive, making it a 12-3 half, and this is absolutely absurd. 12 rounds in a row for the side of Fusion Uprise, and how many triple kills was it again? Siphon has 0 2Ks, 0 4Ks, and 5 triple kills in this game. That is unbelievable. No time to breathe in between halves, as we're just going to head right back into the action. Or not. There is a pause. Of course there is, because why wouldn't there be? Not sure if this is tactical or technical. I mean, either way, you could definitely do with a little bit of downtime here, because Iniquity are going to need it. However, I mean, they've had a pretty good track record on pistols. I haven't quite seen how they've done all season, but if they can go ahead and recreate the success that they found the first time around, maybe, just maybe, they have a chance at making this work. The forecast is gloomy, but maybe, you know, clouds could part and the sun will show, something like that. It all starts on the pistol. Iniquity seem to be up for the challenge, bringing 5 armors to the table. 3 players towards A site, 1 on the rotate, and Jinja ready to change his direction at any time. Arctos now lurks, waits for a player to push through Pop Dog. However, there's no utility in Iniquity's side. They just dry peek it straight into the crosshair of Siphon, who's found his first. Now needs 2 more to complete yet another triple kill, but will get denied that opportunity. A push happens onto the A site just as quickly as this round ended. And well, although Iniquity get their coach in, they lose a kill. Blood for blood, I suppose you can say. And I mean, Airplanes is still striking. He's found a double. Not quite the triple, though. And Siphon, his teammates will at least step up to deny a triple as he goes down swinging. Finds 2 before he dies, and dying is just really all I can say for Fusion Uprise. They're just absolutely reigning supreme over the side of Iniquity. I mean, it's just... Benji says, honestly, after listening to EtoCast, everyone else sucks. Benji, thank you so much. This isn't even my final form, dude. I'm not even like feeling too great in my casting right now. I feel like I've just said the same phrases like 5 times so far, and I feel like Iniquity, we're going for the same pushes 5 times in a row on their T side, and they're running into the same traps over and over. MDS this time is going to fall victim to 2 grenades to the head. Now down to 13 HP, and sure, Fusion Uprise on paper should make this work here, and they have the kills to boot. Siphon searching for more and more blood here. Wants to make it 6 triple kills in this game. Dalton will be his next challenge, and he doesn't falter. He uses a bit of bullets to finish the job, but he gets the job done, and that's really what matters at the end of the day. Fusion Uprise on the verge of getting 14. Sure, all the remaining players are tagged up with the exception of Maz, but I mean, bomb down. Almost everything is secured at this point. Arc will get one, or excuse me, Arctos will get 1 consolation frag in return, but Siphon, he's just chasing him down. Arctos, he's got to be scared. They know that the entirety of the terrorist forces have to be chasing after him to get that Deagle armor out of his hands. Siphon, unfortunately, will get denied his opportunity for 6 3Ks. But I'm sure he'll be pretty happy with getting another round on the board nonetheless. Now 14 for Fusion Uprise. And Iniquity are going to have to piece together a very broken buy, to say the very least, to try to make this one work. Else they'll be staring down the barrel of match point, which either way, it's not a very pretty picture. Whether it's the buy or the round differential, MDS will just paint an ugly Van Gogh painting all over Steedle. It's a bloody nightmare. Fusion Uprise, almost everything going their way right now. Luck to close it out in 2 more. And improve to that coveted 9-4 record that Iniquity themselves are boasting. I mean, considering both these teams, both these teams are evenly matched, but Iniquity actually are the higher seed in this season. But just how they're playing right now, I would not have guessed it. Airplane and Ginger are both trying to prove me wrong, but it's even Stevens. And a bomb down situation for Fusion Uprise yet again. Another kill goes away of the T's, and a second one too. Arctos just tries peeking right in, goes in for seconds, but he might get a little bit more than he can chew. Because he's biting off all the wrong fights, and he's going to get bitten just because of it. 19 HP to his name, desperately goes in for the retake maneuver. But surely Yoka will be able to close this out. Finds a first or doesn't find the first. It's now going to be up to Siphon and Rock to do it. 2-on-2, and oh my lord, Siphon shuts it out with a nice double at the end of the day. And if the first half was the story of the 3Ks for this man, this half has to be the storyline of a double kill. I think this is now his 3rd. He is just racking up so many kills in this game. Uncontested, seriously. Another one through. A broken bye to possibly mark the end of this match. Iniquity. Sure, they faced a loss against their last opponents, but that was against one of the top seeds in this division. It's against Curse Ascension. But now they're getting spanked by Fusion Uprise. They're higher seeded Iniquity, and they're still struggling this much. I mean, they've barely found anything. Oh man, the flank doesn't even work from Dalton either. He's forced to give up the ghost as he fires a couple of shots, but it lands on absolutely nothing but thin air. Fusion Uprise will be perfectly content playing this one slow. Maybe Maz isn't. Just pressing W straight now into Z. Here's rotates coming through. Bomb site belongs to the terrorists. All the rotates will be just flimsy attempts to get back into this one, but Iniquity, they have a long way to go, a long hill to climb. They won't even get that much closer. Dalton and Airplanes actually both find frags. Wait a second, maybe they do have a shot at making this retake work, but just as quickly as I believe in it, Fusion Uprise will dash their dreams away in a moment's notice, 16-3. And look, Cheesy said it in chat, but that is one hell of a way to bounce back. Very convincing victory from them. After they had a hiccup in their last matchup, it's a 16-10 loss and a 16-3 win. Redemption for the side of Fusion Uprise as Iniquity fall to an 8-5 record. And Fusion Uprise 8-4. Pretty dominant to say the very least. I think the scoreline can really speak for itself. But, I mean, lots of respect to how Fusion Uprise played that. So many incredible plays from Siphon in particular. He is definitely my player of the match. Play that to an absolute T. Hey, Digi, no problem. Thank you for letting me cast this. Sure, it was on very short notice, but it was a lot of fun to actually cast and watch this match. And Siphon in particular put on one hell of a show, but everyone delivered, and really that's what everyone likes at the end of the day. This isn't the end of me for tonight, though. I have a match coming up a little bit later. It will be at 7 or 9 p.m. Eastern. It's going to be Polaris South versus Big Chillin' for ESEA Advanced. So if you're interested, feel free to tune in for that. If not, that's also cool. I just hope you guys have a good night. My name is Ito, and if you enjoyed, please feel free to follow. Or if you're feeling really generous, drop a Twitch Prime. Or nothing at all, if that's what you feel like. I'm just glad that you tuned in. Anyway, have a great night, everybody, and I'll see you soon. Later.